as you guys can see, we are getting ourselves a new Ultra character, and this one is going to be Vegeta. Vegeta right after the Saiyan saga, prior to the Frieza saga. So it's pretty interesting that they chose this Vegeta out of all of the other Vegetas, but nonetheless, we can take a look and see right now what he's buffing. Alright, and we can take a look now and see that he's going to be buffing purple, as well as Saiyans. Going into his ability, shortens own substitution count by 2 by default, and plus 50% to damage inflicted when this character enters the battlefield. This cannot be stacked and reduces the damage received by 40%. Also cannot be stacked, plus 20% damage inflicted by allied episode Frieza Saga for 15 timer counts. Possesses special cover change. This knocks the enemy back to a long range if performed against strike cards. So there's a nice little counter we're going to see from this Vegeta. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade 10% to damage received for 15 timer counts every time this character uses a strike or blast arts card, and while this character is on the battlefield, reduces enemy ki by 30 every time the enemy uses a special art card. On special arts activation, reduces ki by 30 and increases arts card draw speed by 1 level for 10 timer counts. This can be comboed into strike arts, blast arts, special attack arts, and ultimate attacks. And the ability, we're going to be touching on blast attack and defense for Frieza Saga and Tag Saiyan. As they say, an easy to use character that gets stronger with every attack. And let's take a look at who else we're getting.
やっぱり口だけだったみたいね。
どうだ、そうだ、消えろ。なかなかいい腕前だった。行くぞ。邪魔だ。俺の力を侮ったな。ザコン、身の程を知れ。
お父さんが助けてくれた。
And with our first character, we got Beto as an extreme purple with the new tag Heraclan, and this character applies the following effects to allies when this character is switched to standby. 1. Restores health by 10%, activates up to 3 times. Number 2, 20% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. And number 3, 20% to damage inflicted by tag Heraclan for 20 timer counts. With his main ability, draws a special arts card next and restores own ki by 50 and plus 30% to damage strike inflicted for 20 timer counts. When this character enters the battlefield, restores ki by 40 and reduces damage received by 20%, activates 2 times and it cannot be cancelled. On special arts hit, plus 30% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and randomly draws 1 new card. On special arts attack hit, reduces enemy ki by 70%, delivers strong attacks and strengthen allies when switching to standby. Next, we've got Bujin Extreme Green Element Support Type with the Hero tag. While this character is on the battlefield, applies the following effects to enemy when the enemy switches characters. Reduces ki by 30, inflicts attribute downgrade -1 arts card draw speed level for 15 timer counts. On special arts hit, seals 1 card slot randomly for 10 timer counts, and there's a 40% chance to paralyze your opponent. On special arts hit, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade 100% to ki recovery for 10 timer counts and 100% chance to inflict heavy bleed. Bujin activates the following effects with main ability. Draw a special arts card next and inflicts all enemies with no switching for 10 timer counts. 2. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -100% to health restoration for 30 timer counts. Number 3. Plus 60% to blast damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. Number 4. 60% chance to inflict paralyze upon landing a special arts hit for 30 timer counts. Even after being switched out, Bujin's abilities leave the enemy at a disadvantage. Next up is Engaya, who is also an extreme unit, range type, yellow element with the tag Girl and Hero Clan. From the start of battle for 80 timer counts, get plus 60% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled, and -5 to blast arts cost, which also cannot be cancelled. From the start of battle, 60 timer counts, reduces her damage by 40% and increases arts card draw speed by 1 level. Cannot be cancelled. Zengai is a range type character with high combo potential. When this character enters the battlefield, plus 40% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer count, and increase arts card draw speed by 1 level for 5 timer counts. We also get 50% to ki recovery for 20 timer counts. With her main ability, restore own ki by 50 and restores own vanishing gauge by 70%. Nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover. And this lasts for 15 timer counts. With her special arts, restores own ki by 50 and get a 20% buff to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. This destroys all of your own cards and randomly draws 2 new ones. A character with a massive potential at the battle start and whenever entering a battlefield. She can also nullify enemies' cover change with her main ability. Gokua is going to be our first transformation extreme unit. He's going to be a melee type with a blue element. And these are the abilities after transformation. Plus 60% to damage inflicted against tag Hybrid Saiyan. This can't be cancelled. And reduces damage received by tag Hybrid Saiyan by 30%. Also cannot be cancelled. This character has a special bonus when battling against Hybrid Saiyans. When this character enters the battlefield, plus 40% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts and reduces damage received by 30% for 20 timer count as well. We get a -5 to strikes arts cost for 20 counts and inflicts all enemies with no switching if the enemy is a Hybrid Saiyan. This lasts for 5 timer counts and it can only be activated twice. Upon transformation, plus 40% to damage inflicted for 60 timer counts. And 50% to ki recovery for 60 timer count. When defeated, it inflicts all enemies with no switching for 5 timer count and inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade 30% to damage received for 15 timer count. An extreme character with balanced firepower and the ability to transform, making this character the first extreme unit to transform. Next up, we've got Bojack, red element defense type with the tag of Transforming Warrior, Powerful Opponent, and Hero Clan. Abilities after transformation. Shortens ally substitution count by 5 when enemy activates Rise and Rush, and this character has to be on the battlefield. Also, when this character enters the battlefield, plus 5 to enemy strike and blast arts costs for 10 timer counts. Abilities after transformation. When changing cover, reduces damage received by 30% until the enemy's combo ends and inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts, plus 40% to damage inflicted for 15 timer count after the enemy's attack is over. On special move art hit, we randomly destroy 3 enemy cards. His Z ability increases base strike and blast defense for the tags of powerful opponents or episode sagas from the movies. Also increases base blast attack for the characters who are both tag powerful opponents and episode sagas from the movies. So keep that in mind. In the last buff, they have to be both powerful opponents from sagas from movies. A character who not only excels in defense, but also has amazing firepower. Next up is Super Saiyan Trunks. Green element, melee type with the tag of Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Vegeta family, and future. When this character enters the battlefield, plus 80% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled, and reduced damage received by 25% per 15 timer count. When this character is defeated, restores allied tag Hybrid Saiyan's health by 10%. And 25% to damage inflicted by allied episode sagas from movies. This cannot be cancelled. When changing cover, reduces damage received by 20% until combo ends and inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10 to all arts cost for 5 timer count. After enemy attack is over, if own remaining health is 70% or below, restores health by 15%. Plus 30% to damage inflicted that cannot be cancelled, and plus 40% to key recovery that cannot be cancelled, and cancels attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. All effects activate only once. On special move arts activation, plus 20% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, and gains minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 timer counts. Blast armor when charging forward. An exceptional character who specializes in buffing allies and special move arts. Our next Legends Limited character is Super Saiyan Gohan with a purple element, melee type, prior transformation, Hybrid Saiyan tag, Sun Family, and Super Saiyan. After transformation, still got the Hybrid Saiyan and family, but we're going up to Super Saiyan 2 tag. Revive with 70% health when your own health reaches 0. On transformation, you get 60% to damage inflicted and minus 5 to strike and blast arts, and nullifies abnormal conditions, minus 25 to enemies sustained damage cut effects. All effects cannot be cancelled. After transformation, 20% to damage inflicted against tag powerful opponents that can't be cancelled. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards when this character enters the battlefield. If any allies have been defeated, randomly draw up to 2 new cards instead every time this character uses an arts card. Plus 25 to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and restores ki by 15. Your activates up to 3 times. Activation counts reset when this character switches. With his main ability, restores own ki by 70 and increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level for 30 timer counts. Destroys all of your own cards and destroys the special movie arts card next. Increases the damage of the next special move card used based on the number of art cards destroyed. That cannot be cancelled. His Z ability increases base, strike, attack, and defense for sagas from the movies or Hybrid Saiyan, as well as the Sun Family. He's a lethal character who can determine the outcome